Hello everyone. Let's talk about Everest Base Camp today. Everest Base Camp is quite simply a classic trek in Nepal, high in the priority list of trekkers. The Everest Base Camp is one of the most visited regions in the Himalaya. The 2 week trek starts and finishes at Lukla, where the famous and so-called dangerous airstrip of Tenzing Hillary is supposed to be a gateway to Everest Base Camp. These are some of the collections of pictures from Everest Base Camp and some of the video clips that I took from Everest Base Camp. Let's go have a look. Well, this is how the flight is like. It is nice and beautiful, but the flight might be shaky. It's a small plane that you will be flying with, and then the turbulence of the air is pretty high. That's why it is pretty shaky. This is the airport of Lukla, which is a gateway if you want to fly into Everest Base Camp trekking. Now we are at Lukla Airport. It is named as Tenzing Hillary Airport at Lukla. From here we will start our trekking, and the first day we will walk to a place called Fakting, which will take like 2 hours from here, from Lukla. And then after the second day we start walking up and up and go to Namche, which lies at the altitude of 3,400 meter, and we will see some beautiful mountains like Thamserku, Kusumkangeru, and Kongde on the way. Once we get to Namche, it's a beautiful and nice village. The next day is the race day at Namche. The video you are looking here is acclimatization hike to a viewpoint at Namche, and after this we'll go to a hilltop where the Everest View Hotel is located, and then after the next day we start heading to Tiangboche, where the one of the oldest and one of the largest monastery of the region lies, and we will attend a puja ceremony in the monastery. This is one of the famous hotel in Everest region called Everest View Hotel, and this is the view you can see from there. Now we start walking towards Tengboche, and we cross a few suspension bridges and pass by a herd of yaks and mules. Now it is the Tengboche Monastery. Tengboche is a small village with just 5 tea houses and a huge monastery. Landscape is nice. It is on the end of the ridge, and monastery is to the very end of the ridge. Walk for today it's short, but the end of the day are climbing. Once you get to the monastery, it's nice, and we will get near to the beautiful mountain Amadablam, and we will see this view of Everest and Amadablam together. It is nice and perfect. Let's talk a little bit about Everest Base Camp trekking. If you don't want to listen, you can mute it. Starting from Lukla, a gentle 2-day trek up to Dutkosi Valley leads to a famous place, Namche Bazaar. We have already seen the picture of Namche Bazaar, and the route has abundant tea houses. Phakding and Monjo are popular stopovers, where Monjo has Sagarmatha National Park and Jorsole has Chuk Point, and the permits are checked here. Wow. The trail is followed by Dutkosi River, and it starts going uphill from Suspension Bridge, the highest suspension bridge if you have watched the movie Everest. And we will pass by the highest suspension bridge above Jorsole, and after 3 hours of hike from the suspension bridge we get to the place called Namche, and it is good to halt here for a couple of days to acclimatize, and the next day we leave Namche Bazaar, and the trail follows the valley of Imjakhola with a spectacular view of Thamserku, Kangtega and Amadablam mountains. And the most common night halt after Namche is at Tiangboche, where the monastery lies, and the view of Amadablam and Mount Everest is really nice from here. And after that we go to Dingboche for the another stopover above 4,000 meters. So from Dingboche or Ferite, 6 hours walk leads to Lobuche, which sits on the latter moraine of Khumbu Glacier. What following is roughly 3 hours hike from Lobuche to last settlement of the trail known as Gorakhshep, the last village. The new tea houses at this place provide shelter for night before one undertakes final leg for the trek over glacier of Everest Base Camp, or some people do Everest Base Camp from Lobuche and then come back and sleep at Gorakhshep as well. Above Gorakhshep can be seen the popular viewpoint known as Kalapattar, from where many trekkers has captured the image of All's highest mountain and gazed up in awe. This is a great ground, and one must walk through this area cautiously, as finding a route through can be tricky and the risk of failing on the ice is great. Let me tell you some of the useful information about Everest Base Camp. Well, an Everest Base Camp trek, it takes like 12 to 14 days if you just do Everest Base Camp, and you will be walking with an average of 10 to 13 kilometers a day. Although this does not sound very long, the terrain can often be steep, rocky, slow going, and depending on the season, icy and snowy. And the change of altitude doesn't allow you to walk more than 10 to 13 kilometers a day. And you can make your Everest base camp trek easier with proper training and reaching a fitness level capable of trekking with a pack on your back. The If you have a porter, the backpack might be like 7 kg or below 7 kg. This trek starts at Lukla below 3000 meters, like 2880 meters, and the trek steadily wends its way upward to Everest base camp at 5364 meters. At 3000 meters, Lukla is already very high, and you will need to take the trek slowly if you are to reach the base camp safely. It is very important that you seek medical advice prior to trekking at this altitude and research altitude sickness to make yourself aware of symptoms and treatment. You also can visit our website and then see some of the guidelines for the acclimatization and what altitude sickness is and how the weather would be.